It is important to maintain your personality, your roots. This is the Undiscovered Stories.
I am the one who won't stop running. Woo! I win something, just get to spinning.
Traveler, and for this episode we have one of the hottest blues musician here from Jakarta, Indonesia. Please welcome the one and only Arya Novanda. Hi. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm great.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, man.
Ini nih Hobotalks episode kali ini a little bit personal banget. Ya, biasanya gue tuh anak-anak yang udah lama, band-band udah 15 tahun, 20 tahun gitu kan. Terus gue bilang sama anak-anak, sama tim gue di Hobotalks, gue lagi memperhatikan lu nih, salah satu musisi muda di Indonesia yang gue lihat roots-nya masih nih banget gitu, blues. Ya, thank you ya for coming.
Thank you
banget
You're
for
welcome.
coming. Akhirnya gue bisa bawa orang yang ada harapan nih, blues bisa gue kasih nih. Ini masih ada yang ngerjain musik ginian. Gue lihat lu di beberapa project sebelumnya ya. Ada di Black Sheep dan lain-lain gitu. Terus kok akhirnya lu memutuskan solo tuh gimana ceritanya?
Jadi emang dari awal gue tuh sebenarnya dari SMA tuh emang gue main blues. Rock and roll blues, ya Jimi Hendrix and stuff, Led Zeppelin gitu. Emang project solo tuh sebenarnya dari SMA. Cuman emang belum ngeluarin lagu dan masih main sana sini lah gitu. Main anak SMA kan, terus ngeband sama band sekolah gitu, band rock juga. Terus ya abis itu udah akhirnya gue lanjut bikin lagu, baru keluar single ada Novanda tuh 2018 judulnya
gue dengerin di mobil a little bit rock ya.
Rock itu.
Punch-punchnya gue rasa tadi ini agak beda nih yang I nih gue bilang gitu. Dari mulai lu pencarian lu nih ya, gue lihat kan lu sempet ada di beberapa project band. Terus tiba-tiba jadi soloist tuh lu memang dari awal niatnya mau jadi soloist atau memang gue pengen bikin band?
Sebenarnya gue pengen bikin band. Cuman apa ya? Nggak ada yang sefrekuensi kayaknya gitu loh. Yang se-BM-an sama gue gitu.
Iya. Ya karena main band susah banget. Frekuensinya harus sama.
Chemistry-nya terus kayaknya di angkatan gue juga yang look up ke musik yang gue look up gitu ya. Gue nemuin jarang sih. Iya, benar.
Gitu. Benar.
Iya. Makanya gue selalu ngeband lebih sering ngeband sama yang lebih tua sih. Generasi yang lebih tua.
Lu ada di tubuh yang salah berarti.
Wrong generation.
Iya benar. Iya karena pertama gue liat lu jadi it's a little bit unique. Nama lu tuh mulai ada di kuping gue tuh karena additional drummer gue si Daud, Experience Brothers kan dia. Terus dia cerita, "Tir nih ada anak mainin blues nih Tir." Gue bilang, gue udah skeptis gimana sih cuma main blues. Terus gue liat, bloody hell, gue bilang, oh ya emang ada darahnya nih. Gue bilang terus kayak akhirnya gue mulai kita mulai kenalan, berteman. Gue lihat di Instagram aktivasi lu memang old school. Lu recording di toilet. Gue lihat kayak lu main-main kayak melakukan hal-hal yang era-era gue anak 90-an lakuin gitu. Kayak millennials tuh kan lebih beda ya. Buat gue unik karakternya. Tantangan lu buat anak sekarang mainin musik tua yang kata orang tua gitu di generasi yang sangat modern ini apa ya tantangan lu?
Tantangannya ya
susah nemu temen jelas.
Iya, susah nemu temen. jelas. Kayak gue main blues karena susah nemu temen. Iya.
Temen lu tua semua. Gugun, Bowie. Iya.
Ya apa namanya? Itu suatu apa ya? Gue bersyukur juga sih masih bisa mainin musik yang apa ya? Roots gitu. Terus maksudnya yang kayak jarang orang dengerin gitu. Terus maksudnya autentik lah gitu. Jadi gue lebih autentik gitu.
Why blues ya? Kan kenapa lu nggak ke jazz? Maksud gue
jazz
gitu.
Banget.
banget.
Jazz banget.
Iya. Why blues?
Kenapa ya? Karena blues mungkin kehidupan juga ya. Kehidupan. Maksudnya mungkin dari kehidupan gue ya dari kecil sampai grow up SMP SMA gitu. Maksudnya jarang yang orang yang bisa ngerti gue gitu.
You feel that
personal, personal apa? Blues kan personal banget.
Banget.
Maksudnya kayak yang bisa apa ya? Yang teman curhat gue ya blues itu, gitu.
Setuju. Bahkan mungkin definisi blues lu sama gue beda, and it's okay.
Beda journey ya.
Iya, beda journey. Gue setuju sama lu. Buat gue ketika gue bikin orang bilang alter ego, the blues traveler. The blues traveler for me is not about the music, it's about the life itself. Dan gue bilang sih blues buat gue spiritual journey. Iya, dan maybe you feel that kind of vibe di cerita lu sendiri gitu ya. Emang lu masih inget gak sih fase apa, lagu apa yang nemenin lu? Soalnya gue masih ada kayak momen gue waktu itu gue kurang dekat sama keluarga gue ya. Begitu gue denger Red House-nya Hendrix tuh kayak kan dia tuh neng nong man ini kayaknya this is the one. Orang tuh apaan sih tuh? Kagak jelas juga lu segitu gak sih? Lu ada gak momen-momen kayak gitu ya?
Iya, gue dulu karena gue anak sekarang gitu gue dengerin dari YouTube ya Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix pasti ya gue dengerin itu Voodoo Child nih, wah gila banget nih, apaan ya maksudnya gitar bisa begini dari zaman itu gitu.
Iya benar.
Gue pengen main kayak gini gitu.
Awalnya Voodoo Child malah.
Iya Voodoo Child.
Voodoo Child. Dan lagu itu tuh kayaknya di cover sama banyak orang yang buat kita tuh udah dewa gitar juga. Iya, ngerti nggak dari mulai Yngwie Malmsteen.
Pioneer gitu.
Pioneer ya emang. Berarti sama ya kitab awal yang lu bikin lari ke blues tuh dari Jimi Hendrix.
Iya, Jimi Hendrix.
Same.
Jimi Hendrix.
Karena ya, era itu memang dia one of the pioneer ya.
Iya.
Even dia ngefans sama Cream, tapi kayak musik dia lebih
ngaco.
Iya. Awalnya dari situ. And then after lu dapet hook dari Voodoo Child, Jimi Hendrix.
Ya, gue dari kecil sebenarnya gue dengerin kayak gue masih kecil banget tuh. Kayak bokap gue dengerin kaset atau CD Queen. Dengerin Queen.
Nutrisinya udah bagus tuh.
We Will Rock You gitu. Terus terus dicokokin Led Zeppelin, The Beatles. Gitu.
Lagu-lagu setan ya.
Rock and roll.
Iya.
Terus apa namanya? Ya gue akhirnya pas SMA gue ketemu Hendrix. Abis itu ya gue suka band-band soul juga, kayak Curtis Mayfield. Curtis Mayfield.
Motown lu dengerin ya.
Marvin Gaye.
Iya.
Terus ya banyak lah ya, apa namanya? Rock and roll and blues and soul is one package, gue jadiin satu gitu maksudnya.
Iya. Masih di benang merah yang sama.
Sama black music gitu.
Iya. And then 2018 akhirnya lu memutuskan untuk mengeluarkan karya pertama lu.
Karya pertama gue.
Ini nih. Cerita dikit dong ya. Biasanya yang pertama nih banyak ceritanya dari proses produksi, proses pengaryaan dan lain-lain.
Ya, itu sebenarnya ada absurd sih lagunya, maksudnya.
Gentel.
Maksudnya absurdnya karena itu kayak kehidupan gue zaman SMA, terus gue tulis di lagu. Apa namanya? Zaman gue nggak jelas lah, maksudnya kayak gue cabut sekolah, telat mulu ke sekolah, terus maksudnya tentang bocah gitu yang masih beranjak dewasa gitu sama gitu.
What is wrong with ourselves? Ain't it peculiar? The true love is gone. True love is gone. Need the power of love. Spirit flies a dove. You better believe real affection is a true perfection. So empty lately that I can't find such feeling. Why is it so hard for you to understand? Your heart's too blind to see. Woo! Need the power of love, place your love on fire. Better believe real affection. Leave your fake satisfaction. Yeah, you better do it right now.
Produksinya kayak gimana tuh ya? Lu bikin lagu nih?
Gue bikin riffnya dari 2016 kayaknya.
Oke.
Gue 2016 bikin riffnya.
Took 2 years berarti ya?
2 years, ya. Iya. Karena gue belum ngerti recording sama sekali, itu musik kayak gimana, soundnya, belum produser juga. Terus akhirnya gue 2018 baru mau kayak, oh coba deh teman-teman gue juga ngeluarin lagu nih, gue ngeluarin lagu deh gitu kan. Cuman yang beda dari yang lain gitu, maksudnya kayak gitu. Terus akhirnya gue rekaman di kampus gue SAE.
Oke.
Sama yang main bass Febri, yang main drum Bowie.
Oh udah langsung sama Bowie waktu itu. Oke.
Terus kayak gitu akhirnya kita keluarin di situ.
Iya, a little bit unik karena waktu lu pertama keluar banyak yang mengasosiasi lu sama Gugun.
Oh gitu.
Iya, dan gue pun mendengar hal itu kayak iya gitu. Ada touch yang sama ya karena kita dengerin musik blues ketika sih lo kayak which is good sebenarnya dan diproduksi ternyata udah ada Bowie malah.
Udah Bowie.
Proses perkenalannya gimana tuh ya? Tiba-tiba lo ada di circle yang sama gitu?
Ya karena gue tinggal di Indonesia, gue look up to Gugun.
Oke.
He's one of my guitar heroes.
Oke.
Gue look up banget ke dia. Terus akhirnya pada satu momen gue pas SMA gue datang ke gigsnya GBS. Terus habis itu kenalan apa?
Punya nyali juga nih Gun ya anak. And then
kayak bawa gitar, gue dulu kemana-mana bawa gitar sendiri gitu kan.
Gue ngalamin juga.
ngejam di apa kafe-kafe mainnya top 40, cuman gue mainnya 12 bar blues.
Iya ngejam
terus
itu.
Gue ketemu Bowie di situ, terus akhirnya lu kalau GBS main datang lah gitu. Akhirnya gue datang ke backstage-nya, kenalan sama Gugun, sama Fajar. Terus ternyata Gugun udah pernah lihat gue di Instagram.
Oke.
Kayak gitu. Terus udah dari situ udah deh kenal sama Dan.
Secara musikal ini banget gak sih lu? Ya, he's one of your guitar heroes for sure. Terus secara musikal mempengaruhi lu kayak karena gue dengar ada Bowie kan, kayak produksi di sini, soundnya ini sampai situ nggak lu?
Sebenarnya tetap apa ya? Waktu itu Bowie tetap ngikut gue juga sih.
Oke.
Ya tapi ya tetap beda lah soundnya gitu.
Betul sih. Pertama gue lihat juga yang itu tadi gue dengerin sama tim gue kayak wah ini ngamuk sih men, masih ngamuk rock
masih darah muda banget.
Yoi, ngamuk gini gue bilang. Terus ke track yang lain kayak udah mulai ada pencarian nih. Nah sekarang nih lu baru rilis single ya?
Gue baru rilis single terakhir tuh Januari 2021.
Berarti udah berapa single nih?
Gue udah 5
single. Yang terakhir nih?
Yang terakhir tuh Love Song juga.
Itu apa nih? Cerita tentang, gue lihat di Instagram banyak yang nge-repost soal lagu lu, ada Zipam, Pamungkas. I mean, gue seneng musik kayak gini tuh di-appreciate sama kayak Pamungkas tuh bukan apa-apa, dia kan bahasa anak muda sekarang. When he mewakili appreciate musik lu di umuran yang sama, gue ngerasa kayak oh my god, ini masih blues is alive and well gitu maksud gue. Reaksi yang lu dapet dari apresiasi pendengar musik lu yang baru gimana?
Ya, gue suka sih, maksudnya ada yang dapat sampai benar-benar deep banget, ada yang kayak wah ini enak nih gitu doang. Maksudnya mungkin untuk nyampein blues di Indonesia juga butuh waktu yang panjang sih. Maksudnya itu nggak cuman itu mesti lu dalemin sampai dalam gitu. Betul. Baru message-nya baru sampai gitu.
Dan gue setuju sama lu sih, gue sempet ikut komen dulu kayak jago atau enak? Yang enak men, lu mau nyari yang jago atau yang enak?
Enak.
Ya karena sometimes orang suka mikir main musik tuh ribet, harus gimana, padahal musik tuh kan media nyampein rasa lu.
Benar.
When it's deliver ya udah, kalau satu nada udah cukup bikin lu ngerasain apa yang lu pengen gitu.
It's a message.
Yeah, it's a message. Tentang apa nih lagu ini?
Love song ya.
Love song
Waktu itu sebenarnya gue lagi pengen deketin cewek gitu.
Oke, bukan yang di itunya, bukan yang di covernya, bukan.
Oh,
bukan cewek itu bukan. Itu siapa tuh? Cewek itu siapa?
Ada temannya teman gue.
Oh, biasanya gitu temen lu dulu.
Enggak.
Main aman dong. Oke, terus?
Ya, terus gue inget tuh gue lagi di kamar mandi di Bandung waktu itu di hotel, terus gue kayak iseng gue bawa gitar kan, terus
ngapain lu di hotel di Bandung? Nggak mungkin iseng. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Ya terus ya gue nemu aja kayak apa nadanya gitu.
Yeah. Okay.
Gue suka Curtis Mayfield, gue suka Lenny Kravitz kan, musik. Gue demen falset
yang
soul gitu. Terus gue ya akhirnya liriknya hari per hari makin itu gue tulis, akhirnya ya jadi
itu proses produksinya dari lu dapet nih di tuh kamar hotel yang nggak tahu sama siapa dan ngapain tuh sampai jadi tuh agak lama nggak tuh?
Agak lama. Itu gue nulis lagu itu 2019 tahun baru 31 Desember.
Oh, ini ada tanggal apa? Sampai ingat tanggalnya.
Iya, gue kayak inget gitu karena gue tahun baruan di Bandung.
Oh, oke.
Terus kayak gitu. Terus ya itu personal sih apa ya, kayak gue kayak menghakimi gitulah lu harus itu sama gue cocoknya gitu.
Lo gitu malah kayak gitu ya?
Iya.
Kayak lu tuh bilongnya sama gue bukan sama orang lain. Tapi ceweknya dapet nggak nih?
Hah?
Ceweknya dapet nggak?
Enggak.
Itu blues gitu.
Iya. Makanya back to the roots lagi.
Oke. Katanya kalau blues tuh nggak bisa musik doang, harus lu alamin.
Iya.
Salah satunya itu. When you feel the pain, you got the blues, man.
Iya, yoi, man.
Oh gitu ceritanya. And then what's next nih ya? What's next? Lu udah bikin 5 single, kepikiran bikin album atau?
Gue ada rencana bikin project satu EP, ada kolaborasi, cuman gue belum bisa sebutin sama siapa. Ya tahun ini gue bakal ngeluarin EP.
Ada bocoran nggak?
Apanya?
Tentang apa? Musiknya bakal kayak gimana? Sama materi-materi single lu yang udah lu keluarin?
Musiknya mungkin ada sama, ada bedanya karena kan gue kolaborasi, jadi ada warna dari si Doi juga kan.
Oke.
Gitu. Terus ya sebenarnya nggak blues doang sih musik gue gitu. Maksudnya I listen a lot of stuff juga. Maksudnya semua elemen yang gue dengar di hidup itu menjadi inspirasi gue gitu.
Nice, man.
Kayak apa namanya? Ya blues rock itu satu elemen yang favorit gue.
Betul.
Karena gue ngalamin blues.
Betul.
Itu.
Ketika lu udah jadiin blues rock jadi way of life lu, bunyinya gimana udah nggak penting, man. Ini orang agak ngaco, gue liat lu cover Prince. Jadi kayak untuk anak sekarang cover Prince tuh kayak
jarang ya.
Iya, jarang banget gitu, dan message yang gue sampein sebenarnya is okay juga to be different gitu. Dan nggak harus juga lu pengen gue pengen beda biar nggak sama, enggak. Itu tuh datang naturally aja, naturally.
Karena kita emang sebenarnya dilahirkan beda-beda.
Bener.
Cuman kita kadang-kadang dijadikan robot oleh seseorang.
Iya, benar.
Yang sama dicetak sama semua. Kayak Pink Floyd yang apa? Break in the Wall ya.
Iya, Break in the Wall. Iya.
Itu kan kayak gitu ceritanya.
Iya, gue setuju bahwa memang yang paling penting tuh yang menjadi diri lu sendiri.
Benar.
Sama atau beda sebenarnya nggak jadi ukurannya. Gue nyamannya begini ya udah. Thanks God masih ada musisi muda model Arya Novanda nih yang masih bawain musik terus dan lain-lain. Ini personal banget buat gue lu ada di sini ya, karena memang gue ngelihat ada harapan gitu untuk core-nya bukan soal bluesnya, tapi it's okay to be different, just being yourself tuh udah paling penting. Sukses ya buat rangkaian produksi materi album barunya, mudah-mudahan kita bisa ketemu di panggung, tour dan lain-lain.
Thank you.
Dan mudah-mudahan fans ceweknya makin banyak ya. Abis ini kita bakal lihat performance Arya di Hobotalks. Thanks for coming ya. This is the Blues Traveler with Arya Novanda. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you ya.
Thank you.
Hello, Laura Fares, aka Lau. So happy to meet you. We are so glad to have you for this episode, because you know what? From Argentina, we love your music so much. For me personally, it put a smile on my face. It's just a happy feeling right away. We talk about this later. And Spain and UK as well. So, welcome to Hobotalks.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So like maybe like just like explain to our audience and Hobotalks, where are you right now? Like where are you originally from? Argentina, Spain, UK. So just tell us about your story.
Yeah, I've been all around. I'm originally from Argentina, and I moved to the UK when I was 21 years old in 99, and I basically lived half of my life in the UK, in London, and then a couple of years ago I moved to Barcelona. Right now I'm in Buenos Aires in Argentina because I just came to visit family and friends, and I'm flying back to Barcelona in a couple of weeks. But my life is in Barcelona now, and I'm really happy there. I really wanted the warm weather, and to live by the sea was really important to me, and I just needed to feel inspired again. So yeah, I've been all around.
So, you know, like maybe you can share, because we are the first Indonesia, you know, quote unquote media to interview you.
Yeah.
So maybe you just wanna like, what genre of music and why you chose this genre? Like, it's more like 80s. And first of all, I love your shirt. Everything about you. Yeah. And the poster is like
aesthetic, right?
Yeah, and the pop art, and you know, like, so just like explain like why.
Yeah, everything goes hand in hand, obviously, the whole aesthetic of the what you hear and what you see. I am an 80s child. I was born end of the 70s, but my childhood was throughout the 80s, and it was the golden era for pop, you know, like the best pop bands came from that era, in my opinion anyway, and I take a lot of influence from that decade, you know. I grew up listening to Queen, Tears for Fears, Phil Collins, Madonna, David Bowie, all these amazing artists that I think they still influence a lot of bands today, a lot of artists today. And I still, even though my music is current, but it's got a strong 80s influence, so there's a lot of synthesizers and layers of sound, not so many guitars, but a lot of synths at the front. And I think that's kind of my homage to that kind of sound, you know, and the aesthetic goes with it, obviously. It's called retro wave or synth pop, or there's a little bit of synth wave in my music now as well. So these are genres that we are emulating what happened in the 80s, but the lyrics are very now. Everything is very current, what I sing about, and yeah, I think I found my sound. That's really important to me. It gives me a nostalgic feeling and a happy feeling. So I'm glad you connected with it as well.
Really, I love like all the colors. When I first like discovered you, I was like listening to every songs, obviously, and it gives me this warm feelings of my childhood.
Everyone tells me that they feel that nostalgia when they listen to my music, and that's great. That's great. You know, I've had people messaging me saying they feel young again. I've had people messaging me, young fans, saying they didn't even live throughout the 80s. They weren't even born then, you know, and they still connect with that kind of music. They appreciate this kind of pop influence, you know, that we use nowadays to create new music.
I mean, what I say, like, it's, you know, like it's like 80s, but it's very new. So I'm pretty sure like the young generation, they listen to it, it's something different, but then I'm pretty sure like the effect on them is the same effect on
music is music, you know. At the end of the day, if you connect with any piece of music, you know, new, old, it doesn't matter. I think that the main goal is that you feel something and that you connect with the lyrics, and I think that's the main goal. You know, it doesn't matter exactly how it was produced or when, or, you know, there's songs that I still love from a long time ago, and there's new songs and new artists that really move me as well. So you know, I think the goal is to connect with it.
I mean, I'm kind of like, yes, I watch Haim live, and I'm kind of jealous, like all the artists that you mentioned before. I think like if this younger generation haven't listened to their music, I think they should, because I think it's forever.
Once you go into, once you start discovering this retro wave movement, it's like a rabbit hole. Once you go in there, you're gonna find lots of artists. We all feel inspired by the same kind of era of pop in the 80s and the same aesthetic, and you start discovering other artists doing the same vibe. You know, they're emulating that era of pop. And I've got a record label that I set up with a friend of mine, Arya, and we discovered this kind of music. We're looking for artists nowadays doing this kind of synth pop or retro wave. So there's a whole world out there. Once you start discovering one artist, you're gonna start finding others on the same vibe, and there's small festivals coming up of this kind of music. So it's really a whole world of retro wave.
If maybe there is a band from Indonesia and they're like, hey, we play similar, we're very interested in, we play this kind of music. Can they reach out to you?
Absolutely, and we encourage people to do so. We get sent demos all the time. You can find us on aztecrecords.com, and that will take you to our Bandcamp page. We have over 50 artists from all around the world. We don't really have many Asian artists at the moment, so it would be really nice to get people from Indonesia to send their submissions for sure. They can send their music through. If they go on Bandcamp, they'll see our submissions email address there. Also on our social media, on Aztec Records, on Instagram, for example. Send your demos in. We release music in English on Aztec Records, so preferably in English, that would be great. But we also look for instrumentals, so if there's instrumentals that are, really cool, really good quality, we'll probably work with them as well.
One of the reasons why we start this, we start like our previous artists, they have like a big community, a punk community, and you are the first artist in our show, with retro wave, and then so this is like an open like new doors that we really want to contribute for like our audience.
It's important to find that community, like you said. I think it's really important, so you feel supported, so you feel like you are with similar artists, playing similar venues, similar festivals. We encourage a lot of collaborations among our artists as well. We always have featuring, or artists remixing each other or collaborating. So yeah, for sure. I know that slowly retrowave is starting to appear in different territories. So it kind of started in America and the UK, but it's now everywhere. Even in Argentina, there's a big retrowave scene now. But this is all happening right now. So yeah, it would be great if we get Indonesia, on the map with the retrowave sort of artists, or synthwave. Yeah, for sure, that would be great.
Back to your music. I just want to know your musical journey. Maybe if you can share with our audience.
I started when I was around 16 years old. I became a drummer. I was just a self-taught drummer. I formed an all-girl band with my friends from high school. It was like a hobby. I remember our first gig. We were all so scared. It was terrifying. But that's always going to happen at first. You're always going to be nervous, because it's something that matters to you, and it's normal to be nervous. And we had all our friends coming to watch us. It was lots of fun. We were just playing rock and some covers, and it was all kind of basic at the beginning. A few years later, I moved to the UK, and then I realized I wanted to actually study music properly. So I went to music college a few years. Then I went on to university, another 3 years. And then I became a session drummer. So I started to drum for bands. At first you do it for free, and then they start calling you and they start paying. So I started to play sessions for different people and different artists, pop artists. So I ended up playing sessions for some big pop artists like Ricky Martin, Tayo Cruz, Sam Sparrow, The Wanted. So I did that for 15 years. 15 years I was touring and being just a drummer, playing some big festivals, big TV shows. And it was great, but at the same time I wanted to do my own music, and I wanted to produce, and I was also a DJ for many years, and I was composing, and I was also finding my voice. It took me a very, very long time to dare to sing in public, a long time. I was always hiding behind the drums, I was hiding behind the decks or writing for other people, but I was always kind of in the background. So I think everyone has their own journey. What I encourage people to do when they first start, try everything. We're not one thing, we're many things, and your music career can really develop in different ways that you don't even imagine. If you told me 20 years ago I was going to be a lead singer, I would have laughed probably. So I think you find your own journey, you find your own path, and try, and everything you learn will help you. I think everything I learned as a drummer, as a producer, as a DJ, composing for other people, everything I did makes me who I am today, and I put that into my music today, and you hear it in my songs.
it's amazing with your long journey, you know, because a lot of people these days, younger generation, they want instant gratifications, right? With the social media, la la la. But can you imagine, like you said, like 25 years ago, you went through like all these little steps to be who you are today, and that's like a lot of like experience on stage, right? Like, how did you get your first professional gig, and what was the craziest experience?
First professional gig or paid gig, I think it was with a band called The Future Shape of Sound. I think that was my first paid gig. I was coming fresh out of university, and they had a tour. It's an independent band, but they had some shows all around Europe, basically, and Eastern Europe, and for me that was great to travel and to play music. That's what I wanted to do, and to get paid to do that. I was happy just with that, you know. It was great. It was great. We did some great shows. It was lots of fun, and then obviously I think word of mouth is important. If you do a good job and if you perform well on stage and you look comfortable and confident, you know, people will call you back and recommend you. And then the next big show was with Sam Sparrow. He was he was looking for a band in Europe, and we ended up doing a lot of really big shows for him. Glastonbury, Top of the Pops, award ceremonies, like a lot of really big things happened with him. So that was great. That was great, and you just learn how to. You know, there's early mornings. You gotta wake up really early. You know, to go to the airport. You're not gonna sleep very much. You gotta be on point. You gotta learn all the songs. You gotta practice constantly. So it's not as easy as it seems. There's a lot of work behind it and a lot of pressure, but you also get that adrenaline. You know, once you're doing it, it's great. And after you do it, it's like a relief. You know, it's like, oh great, it went well. But it's a lot of pressure. It's all eyes on you, and you can't really mess up. You know, you gotta be really on it. So the work ethic is really important as well. Yeah. So my first solo song was "Stunning." That was my first single, which is the most popular. Actually, it's done really well, which is great, and it was recently used on a Victoria's Secret advert. So that also helped get some exposure. I'm really grateful for that. We did release it and publish it through Aztec Records, my label. It was produced by Brian Skill, which is an American producer that I work with a lot. He's amazing. And I made him doing a songwriting course for movies and for adverts based in LA, but it was virtually that we met. And we clicked and we started working together and we came up with that song. And for me, it marked a really big step because it was my change from being a background session player, producer, etc., to being a solo artist and being at the front of a project and opening up, you know. So I was kind of terrified when I did that, and I remember when I pressed click and posted that on social media, I was like, I don't know what people are gonna think, you know. Are they going to take me seriously? You know, I don't even believe in myself as a singer. Will they believe in myself? So it was quite scary, but I'm really glad I did it. And I think as time goes by, I feel more and more comfortable in this role, and I'm super inspired to keep writing. And my second album just came out recently. So yeah, there's a lot of songs coming out and in the making.
What are the projects that you're currently working on? Like what to do, and then, you know, what is the next, like when you go on tour in Europe, like what's the plan? What's gonna happen in the next few months?
Yeah, so the album just came out, so I'm not really looking at numbers a lot at this point. It's all very green, you know, and Stunning came out over a year and a half ago. So you know, that's how long it takes for something to start to brew and take off. So I'm not worried about. I'm not really looking at that at the moment. But yeah, the idea is when I start touring and I've got a video that will come out, an official video for "Give Her Your Love," which is another song of the album that will come out soon. So that's also going to help promote the album and touring, etc. So yeah, hopefully it will be bigger than Believer, which was my first album. That's the plan. The immediate plan is to fly back to Barcelona in about a week's time, and start planning all my touring schedule. I think I'm going to start touring Europe, just because I haven't done it yet with this project, and it's all close to home, so I can. I think I will start with Spain, and then Paris and London and other places I've got in mind. So the idea is to carry on with that. Then I've got the remixes of the album is coming out next month in April, end of April. So that's also really cool. I've had some great producers reimagine my songs, and that's awesome. I love that. So that's coming out. So yeah, and then there's bits and pieces. I can't really talk much about it, but there's a lot happening this year. Let's put it that way.
Exciting year ahead. After 2 years, like no concert, nothing, borders now start opening. Just perfect time for you to do touring, and hopefully maybe this year or next year, promoting your album in Indonesia. That would be
I would love that. Yeah,
we would love that too.
Sure.
We would love that.
We'll do it.
So this is just let's do it, definitely. So you mentioned about like there will be like schedules and video coming up. So where can our audience like just check your music out? Like Spotify, Instagram, YouTube? What is the best platform to reach out to you? And then people who can be like, oh, we play similar music and we would love to connect with her. So which platform is better for our audience to connect with you or to check your work?
So for my music, if you find Lau Fares on every platform, on YouTube, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere, Lau Fares, you will find me. TikTok as well. You will find me on there. And on Spotify, you can put Lau Believer, which is my first album, or Lau Circumstance, which is this new album that just came out. You can listen to my music, follow me on Spotify, etc. And then for the label, for Aztec Records, if you go to aztecrecords.com, and I think there's an email, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's submissions.aztec.records@gmail.com. submissions.aztec.records@gmail.com. That's where you can send your demos. So someone from the A&R team, including myself and my business partner, we will all listen to your demos. And we can guide you on, if we can help you, if we can help release your music, promote you, or get you in touch with someone that might help you, etc. But yeah, we look for submissions, so do send them in. It'd be amazing. We don't have any Indonesian artists, so do send in your demos for sure.
I know my roots, and I cannot forget the journey that I have made. It's a long way to the top, if you want to rock and roll.
That's all I have.